were definitely a pretty popular person last night at the basketball game. Like, what's it been like to kind of feel the love from this Eugene fan base?
It's been unbelievable. I've never really felt anything like it. It's just very supportive and nothing but love from everybody, and I just enjoy getting to learn a new atmosphere and go to new things. That was my first basketball game, and so I got to enjoy that and see the arena for the first time and all that kind of stuff. But just to see that they're over there cheering just as loud for basketball games as they do football games, it's a great place.
I imagine so much of your experience at Auburn were things that you had imagined thinking about as a kid, or playing in the Iron Bowl. You probably thought about that all the time. Like, what's it like not having kind of any expectations at all and kind of just going with it this year?
I enjoy it. It's just because everything's new. I get to have a unique perspective for everything, and everything I see. I really have no background knowledge of it, so I'm just excited to, especially like this kind of rivalry, I'm excited to be in it. I'm excited to play in it and see the atmosphere on game day, and just see the buzz around the complex and on game day around here in the stadium. I think it's going to be really exciting, but I think from a perspective of not having much background, I enjoy it.
Does that make things easier at all? Was it tougher then?
I maybe so, because there's not as much expectation on the situation, or maybe on myself. But now I can just go out there and play and just have fun with the guys and just be in it for the first time, and whatever I see, kind of just have that perspective from there on out.
Do you still have that game ball from the 19 Iron Ball?
Of course I do.
Where did you put it?
It's at my house, back home.
Do you search out background information on this rivalry to be more knowledgeable about it, or do you just kind of let it come naturally?
I let it come natural, because usually, you don't want to just look into it. I got a lot of kind of time to got to watch video and stuff like that. But I've been hearing all throughout the locker room. There's a lot of guys that are born and raised here in Eugene or here in Oregon that have told me a lot about it. And so I enjoy hearing those kind of stories rather than kind of looking it up and getting the internet stories. I like getting the personal stories and the Oregon favor stories.
Does Coach Adams have a particularly unique perspective given his history this week?
Well, yeah, a few coaches from there that might have coached there, but we're all Oregon now and excited and ready to go, and we know the importance of the game.
What do you see specifically from his Washington defense looking to attack on Saturday?
They're good up front. They do a good job moving around. They're going to give some alignment changes. They're good in the box, and then secondary, they do a good job of moving and staying consistent with coverages. But a lot of those guys are versatile, that can play a lot of different things, so they'll move around, play different positions. They're solid. They're sound defense. They're well coached. You can tell on film just the little things they do, that they've been really well coached with this new coach. And I think that they play kind of how they're coached. They play very hard. They play with effort. And so you can tell that they just play very sound football on video.
They've given up a lot of deep shots for them in terms of 30-plus, 40-plus, where historically the last 5 years, I know you're not looking at their tape from old, but they really didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Is that an aggressiveness thing? Is that a schematic thing that they're doing things to just – it's kind of a risk-reward aspect of things, or is it execution?
Well, I personally think a lot of that comes because their offense is so explosive that guys – on the other side, they got to keep up, so they got to take some more shots. And I think the more shots you take, usually percentage-wise, you complete a few more the more you take. So, I think they obviously we're going to try to game plan well and get some situations down the field, because that's what kind of offense we are. But I think it's just kind of system, and I think it's just based off what they play.
We've seen this season that you guys often try and get Chris Hudson going early on in the games. What is it about him that really kind of opens up this offense and gets you guys off to a hot start?
Oh, just his explosiveness and speed, and when he gets the ball, he's tough to tackle in different ways, just from just a speed and a quickness standpoint. And then he runs really good routes, catches the ball really well. He just is a dynamic guy that we like to use, and a lot of those receivers, we try to get them involved early so that they can kind of get a feel of the game and they can start fast. Because sometimes for a receiver, you don't get the ball for a while and it's tough to get going. But we try to get the ball to all those guys and let them start fast.
How much do you think the Washington fight song kind of irritated you guys during practice? Was there anything behind that?
No, I think it's probably just something just kind of jog your memory, like get you a little competitive during practice and get your mind right and get you passionate about the game. But I'm not going to say it's necessarily irritating, but I think it's just a good mindset to have. Once you listen to it a few times on repeat at the beginning of practice, it kind of sets the tone.
Do you feel like you're playing as one of the best players in college football right now? Your name's coming up quite a bit for the Heisman. Do you
I
feel
think
like that?
our offense is one of the best in the country. I think when you look at what we're doing offensively, everybody touches the ball most. I mean, there's countless amount of people that have a touchdown. Our O-line's probably the best in the country. Coach Dillingham's probably calling it as good as anybody in the country. I think he's just in a very good rhythm, very smart, puts us in great situations. So I think you take me out of the equation, our offense as a whole, I mean, we're so dynamic and guys are doing so many different things. You can't really just say it's me because you got guys running touchdowns, you got guys catching touchdowns. I literally think my job is kind of the easiest just because I get to get those guys the ball and they do the work for me. And so I'm fortunate to be on an explosive offense like this.
You've literally got like national writers writing like apology columns to you though, like saying they were wrong about you. Like that doesn't do anything.
Well, you know, about this is the thing about college football. Sometimes guys, obviously, you don't really get to see the what they can do until a little later. Some guys start a little sooner, some guys go a little later. But I think that that's a tough question because I am in such a good position to where it's hard to, it's hard to kind of say that, like, I don't know. It's tough. That's tough. I don't really want to comment a whole lot about it because that's how you get in trouble.
You made a lot of sacrifice in coming out here. You're 2,500 miles from home. Parents have a harder time getting out here. You're away from your wife for 6 months at first. How do you learn of some of the sacrifices that some of your teammates also make, and Brandon Dorless specifically? Like,
Yeah.
When do you learn of what he's going through this year, and
Yeah.
for all the things that you personally are doing, some of the things that he's doing?
Well, I know that's what the coolest thing about college football is it brings so many guys from so many different backgrounds all to the same place. And then when we get here, we kind of get through together. We kind of create bonds and a connection throughout the team that keeps us motivated, keeps us going. Because a lot of guys are missing family right now. It's tough in the season when you don't get to go home. And some guys are in different positions than others with playing time and others. So it can be a tough time right now in the season. Thank goodness we're winning games and that helps. But for guys like Dorless who have all the way from Florida, it's just it can be tough. And that's why it's so important to have a tight team that we have and kind of keeps everybody just motivated, keeps everybody going, keeps everybody with a positive mindset.
Simple question, but just how fun has this year been for you on a personal level?
It's been so much fun. I think just being out there with the guys and like it just showed on Saturday. You got different people scoring, everybody celebrating. The whole offense is going up and down. Defense is having their fun. I think just as a whole, I think that's why we're playing really well. I think we just connect well with each other, and we got enough older guys and enough new guys that are just kind of feeling their way through it, and then the older guys with the experience are just kind of bringing the experience. So I think that collectively as a whole, we're just having a blast, and I think that it shows on the field, and it I would say it correlates to winning. I think having fun takes your mind out of the seriousness of the game, and you're just allowed to go out there and do you.
Do you ever feel pressure, like or stress of the season to live up to the expectations, and how much has that like helped this year?
You know what? I haven't really felt stress or pressure. I think because we're so functional right now as an offense. So I don't have to have all the pressure. I don't have to make a play ever. I just got to do the right thing, do what I'm supposed to do, make the common play over and over and over. And that's what we've done offensively. We've just done the same thing repetitively, and we've gotten good at the basics. And we're just playing good football together. We're doing the right thing. We're not having a bunch of blown assignments. We're not having a bunch of penalties. We're not having a bunch of turnovers. So we're just doing what we're supposed to do, and that correlates to production on the field.